Sorry about that. Hello, my friends. It's Andy coming live on Thanksgiving, the 400th anniversary of Thanksgiving. Now, I just want to come on really quick. This is going to be a very short one, I promise you. And that is to remind everyone who watches my show that our nation was built off of the words of this book right here. And our history is rooted deeply in the teaching of Jesus Christ and God. And how do we know that? Because the documentation says so. Our Constitution and a document I'm going to read today. I'm first going to play a message from last night at my church with Jack Hibbs over at Calvary Chapel, Chino Hill. I'm going to, as you saw, I kind of quickly came on and said, I got to do this. I got to do this show where I talk about or show what we learned last night, and I didn't know this. I'm ashamed that I did not know that this was the 400th anniversary of Thanksgiving, and the documentation that the Pilgrims put together, which essentially was our birth certificate, as Pastor Jack will tell you shortly. I'm just trying to cue it up right now to the spot where it starts. You're going to see a document. I will share the screen on a document that you can actually read, but you'll see it for momentarily on what Pastor Jack talks about here. But hold on, I'm trying to trying to get it trying to cue it up here. Again, I probably shouldn't do that very often where I just come on and quickly wanted to show something here really quickly. But we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to read it for you and show you the document here on the screen once he explains a little bit further. It's better that you hear from him. There's no reason for me to come on here and repeat what Pastor Jack so eloquently said last night about the history in regard to Thanksgiving and what the Pilgrims put together for us that has lasted 400 years, which is amazing. Again, all this is God. All this is Jesus Christ. This teaching, and that it continues on, just speaks to how powerful and how important it is that Jesus is in our history, in our world. And people can deny him. People can say that it's all hogwash. People can say a whole bunch of things. They can attempt to destroy our country and say that Christians and all of us are racist, horrible people. But our country is rooted in this. And the reason our country is so great is because it's rooted in all this. All right. So here, first listen to what Pastor Jack has to say about our history in regard to the Pilgrims and Thanksgiving. Here you go.
And then he ends by saying, praise the Lord. Well, tomorrow, we're going to celebrate the 400th Thanksgiving of this experiment called America.
Sorry, I stopped it, but I'm paranoid that I did not hit the volume button or the audio button so you can hear it. I think that I went too quickly. And it is possible you did hear it, but I just wanted to double check to make sure you could actually hear what he has to say here. And I could have been totally wrong, but I want to make sure that you could actually hear what he had to say here. And I'm going to do it again. Here we go, just to make sure. I just didn't want to have it all go on too long without making sure that was it. Just because I was in such a hurry to get this pulled up for you. I'm going to start all over again. And if you could hear it, I apologize, but I just wanted to make sure. Here we go.
And then he ends by saying, praise the Lord. Powerful. Well, tomorrow, we're going to celebrate the 400th Thanksgiving of this experiment called America. Tomorrow will be the 400th. It's pretty amazing, you guys. You should be thankful for that. 400 years. 400 years. I'm going to ask you guys take a look at this image of the Mayflower Compact. I want you to just, it's almost impossible for you to read from where you're at, but that's okay. Listen to this. Just the other day on November 11th, 400 years ago on November 11th, before the Pilgrims and the investors of the Virginia Company stepped off the Mayflower ship onto Plymouth, or what would be Plymouth. The Christians on board crafted a governing document. It was the forerunner to the Declaration of Independence. It's technically our nation's actual birth certificate. And here it is. And by the way, any of you who have been molested by college or university doctrines that America is not a Christian nation, I want you to listen. Real subtle how it begins.
Yes, very subtle how it begins. And I'm going to read it for you right now. I'm going to bring it back up onto the screen. And thank you, April. Yeah, I had a feeling you could. I just felt like, it's horrible sometimes if you can't remember. I wish the default for StreamYard was that the audio played. Because I always think, did I remember to click that audio part? Like right now, I don't need to. But here we go. We're going to bring up the compact in a more clear graphic here so that I can read it and you can actually see it because I think it's that important of what Pastor Jack was getting ready to read. And I had not ever before. I don't know what happened in my life that I did not know that this is the 400th anniversary of Thanksgiving, and that I've never read the 1620 compact, Pilgrim Compact about Thanksgiving. That essentially was our birth certificate for the United States of America and the Constitution. But here I am 58 years young and just now telling you about myself, just learning about it. But it is a powerful thing. The wording is going to be a little bit difficult because of the way that they spoke back then and they wrote back then. So forgive me if I just completely jack it up. But I think it's important to read and to understand that our country and our Constitution is rooted in Christianity, God, and Jesus Christ. I think that's super important to make sure that we completely are aware of that. So let's go ahead and bring this up to the screen. And we'll make it huge here. Oh, my daughter's calling me. All right. So the Mayflower Compact. In the name of God. That's how it starts. In the name of God, amen. We whose names are underwritten, the loyal subjects of our dread sovereign Lord, King James, by the grace of God of Great Britain is what it says there, France and Ireland King, defender of the faith, etc., have undertaken for the glory of God and advancement of the Christian faith and honor of our king and country, a voyage to plant the first colony in the northern parts of Virginia. Apparently they weren't actually where Virginia is today, but they thought that they were, of Virginia. Do by these presents solemnly and mutually in the presence of God and one of another, covenant and combine ourselves together into a civil body, politic, for our better ordering and preservation, and furtherance of the ends aforesaid, and the virtue hereof to enact, constitute, and frame such just and equal laws, ordinances, acts, constitutions, and offices, from time to time as shall be tonight or thought most meet and convenient for the general good of the colony, unto which we promise all due submission and obedience, in witness whereof we have hereunder subscribed our names at Cape Cod, the 11th of November, in the year of the reign of our sovereign Lord, King James of England, France, and Ireland, the 18th of Scotland, the 54th Annodome, 1620, and then all their names are underneath there. And again, I think it mentions God 3 times in that document, which again tells you how our country started and the importance of Christianity in our country. So I hope that all of you had a great Thanksgiving. I just wanted to bring that to you. I thought it was important because I heard it last night for the first time. At least I don't have any memory of learning about this before. Now that it's a very powerful thing to understand how our country started, why the Patriot Project that I'm starting is so important to bring us back to a conservative Christian base for our country. And again, it doesn't mean that we can't support and love all the our country that have other faiths and maybe not even believe in God. That doesn't matter. As long as the country is rooted in the teachings of God and following God's word as we go forward. Because no matter what, it will survive as long as we continue that. It will not survive if we forget our roots and where our country came from and the fact that we are one of the most giving countries on the planet that helps and supports other countries when they're in trouble. And it just, again, it speaks to where our country comes from, the history of our country, and the fact that we have God so rooted in everything that our country stands for. And I hope that you all had, again, a great Thanksgiving with family and friends. And in California, I hope you had way more than whatever the number is. I think it's 6. Who cares? I hope you had way more people in your in your house in California, and stay up as late as you want. Stay up until 12 and party like it's 1999. All right, my friends, I love you. God bless you, and have a great Thanksgiving. And I simply just wanted to play that, I wanted to play that video of my new show, which you'll be seeing during the daytime mostly, and that is the daily devotional hosted by me. And I'm going to play the intro as my outro right now. Here you go. All right, I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.